everyone, it's Carissa at Sprinkled with Glitter, and I am here with another Silhouette Studio tutorial for you. A couple weeks ago on my blog, you may have seen these belly bands here. I actually created these for my daughter's birthday treats. I'm not much of a cupcake baker or anything like that, and she, if you can see these here, these are pre-wrapped Nutty Bars by Little Debbie. Those are one of her favorite treats. So what I usually do is I buy them, a treat for their class, and then I decorate them somehow to make them special. So I'm going to show you how I created this belly band here. Now, of course, this has an 8 because it's her 8th birthday, but I will show you that there's other numbers that you can do as well. Now, you'll also notice that there's not a whole lot of layering in this. Because I did have to make 30 of them, I didn't want to have to do a lot of embellishing. So I did let my silhouette make the intricate shapes and then just decorated it with a little rhinestone here in the center and a different colored 8. So let's go back over to our Silhouette Studio. And I have a blank document opened here. I'm going to start out by creating the base of the belly band. And what I'm going to do is just draw a rectangle by clicking my rectangle tool right here. And I'm just going to come over here and just draw a rectangle. It can be any size, it doesn't matter. Because then I'm going to go over here to this scale window. I'm going to click that, and I am going to make this 1.5 inches wide by 6 inches long. Just typing those numbers in there. And when I hit apply, oh, I didn't select my shape. Now, the shape has to be selected, and then I can hit 1.5 inches wide, 6 inches long. I just happened to measure my Nutty Bar and see what would fit, and then I can hit apply, and that makes the long part of my belly band. Now, if you'll notice in that belly band, there was a circle shape in the center. So I'm going to grab my ellipse tool here. I'm just going to click on that. Now, in order to make a perfect circle while using the ellipse tool, you have to hold down the shift key. So I'm going to hold down the shift key and draw my circle here. And once again, it really doesn't matter what size I make it, just as long as it's a perfect circle. Now I'll show you with that same ellipse tool again, what happens when I don't hold down the shift key. When I go to click and drag and draw my shape, you can see that it does not keep it in perfect proportion. So just holding down the shift key will allow you to always stay in perfect proportion and not end up with an oval. So I'm going to delete this shape here. I'm going to select this, and with my scale window applied still, I am going to change this. I'm going to lock the aspect ratio. I'm going to change this to 2 inches and hit apply. And that will keep my perfect circle. Now I'm just going to move this over. It doesn't really matter. In fact, I'm going to leave it offset on purpose. I'm just going to get these shapes together here. And I am going to select them by just clicking out here and then dragging this box over both shapes until they're both selected. So now that I have both shapes selected, I can open my Align window. And I'm just going to use this center here. So now the center of the circle and the center of the rectangle are lined up. So that's how I get that to where I don't have more circle on one side than the other, and I have it perfectly in the center of the length of my belly band. So you can see that there's all kinds of align options here, and it's a really good idea to learn how to use these. But let's keep going on our belly band. So now that I have both of these shapes selected still, if I were to leave it like this, it would cut the rectangle and it would cut the circle, and the circle would be cut out of the rectangle, and that's not what I want. So I'm just going to go down with both shapes selected, and I'm just going to click this here, weld selected shapes into one shape. And just like magic, I have the base of my belly band. So pretty simple so far, right? Well, now I'm going to show you adding the happy 8th birthday into the center. I am going to go to my library, and I am actually going to use the 7 through 9 birthday cutout tags. I will link this on my blog to exactly where in the Silhouette store I found it, but so you can head over to my blog to see that. But I'm just going to open these up. And you can see that this shape actually comes with them all together. So I'm going to hit Command U and ungroup those shapes. And that should have ungrouped them, but it didn't. Command U again. That worked that time. And I'm just going to get rid of the shapes that I know I'm not going to use. Just selecting them and deleting them. And then you can also just drag across multiple shapes at one time and delete those. So I'm left here with my 8 and my happy 8th birthday. Now you can see that these are scaled perfectly to fit on top of each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to select both of them before I resize them. And I'm just going to go to the scale window again. And since this circle was 2 inches, I think I'm just going to make this, let's see, I want to go by height because both shapes are selected. And so it will make this, if I were to use width, it would make this 1.75 inches. I want the height 1.75 inches. So I'm just going to go to lock aspect ratio. Oops, it won't let me do that. Okay, so I'm just going to go to 1.75. I hope this works and hit apply. Nope, it didn't work. Command Z. So what I can do then is just drag this down till it's 1.75 inches or around there. So that's pretty close. Now if I just select this, I can drag this over and make sure that that's going to be about the size that I want there. And it is. But if you'll notice this shape, I'm just going to zoom in on it. And by the way, resizing those together allowed me to keep this 8 in proportion to the circle, and that way I know that my 8 will cut out at the correct size. Let me go ahead and zoom in on this shape here because I want to show you what's going to happen. If I leave this shape as it is, this whole area right here is going to be cut out of the center of my belly band. So I'm going to end up with a hole in the middle of my belly band is what's going to happen. And I don't want that. I want the belly band to serve as this outer circle portion of this shape, and I still want it to read happy birthday. So I'm just going to take this shape and select it. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to release compound path. And that allows me to manipulate the shapes within. But so be very careful when you release a compound path that you don't start moving stuff around. So I'm just going to go ahead and select that outer circle of this, and I'm going to hit delete. And now I'm going to select it all again, and I'm going to go to right click and make compound path. So now I can move this again, but I don't have that outer circle cutting out. So I'm just going to zoom back out here. I'm going to leave it a little bit larger so you can see what I'm doing here. And I'm just going to take this over here and I'm going to put it right on my belly band. Now these shapes I'm not actually going to end up welding together because I want it to cut this portion out. And I think I can actually make this a little bit bigger. So I just selected both of those shapes by selecting my first shape and holding down the shift key and then selecting the 8 as well. Because I am going to make this a little bit larger inside this belly band, I want my 8 to resize so that it remains in proportion. I'm just going to drag this out just a bit and just figure out kind of how big I want it. And I'm going by, not by measurements this time, but just by eyeball. So I'm just going to go a little bit larger here, and then I can click out. Now, if you'll notice, I have my 8 is not in the center here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select all of these shapes by dragging around them. And I'm going to go to my align window up here again, and I'm going to align center. And that's just going to move that happy 8th birthday shape into the center of my belly band. And that is basically it. I would arrange my paper onto my silhouette to allow me to cut this in one color. And if you actually wanted to take another mat and make a bunch of these across, you could make a bunch of these across. You would just, you could do drag around it and copy or duplicate. I can't remember which one, replicate. And let's say duplicate right. And I have now a second one. And then you could grab these and move them all around and allow you to make the most. So I could just keep doing that until my mat was filled, and then fill my mat with the color, and then I could copy this onto another mat and cut all the 8s out of a different color. So that is easy. That is how you create these really cute happy 8th birthday belly bands. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.